The impact threw Jack Harlow against the wall of his small apartment. He wiped blood from his lip and stared at the government official standing in his doorway. "Your grandfather is dead," the man said, handing over a data tablet. "He left you something." Jack laughed bitterly. The grandfather who had disowned his father. The grandfather who had never once visited. The war hero who couldn't be bothered with family. "I don't want anything from him. You don't have a choice. The inheritance tax alone would bankrupt you." The official pointed to the signature line. "Sign here or face the penalties." Jack's hands shook as he scanned the document. A space station? Orbiting Europa? He looked at his son Ethan, who sat quietly at the kitchen table doing homework, headphones blocking out the world. Since his mother died last year, the boy barely spoke. "This station is military junk," the official added. "Decommissioned after the war. Worth nothing except the scrap metal, which you can't afford to salvage." Jack signed. What choice did he have? Discharged from the Marines after the incident on Mars, blacklisted from security work, he was 3 months behind on rent. His combat pension barely covered Ethan's medication. 2 weeks later, their shuttle approached the station. It hung against the darkness like a dead spider, solar panels extended like broken limbs. The pilot snickered as he prepared to dock. "Good luck with your inheritance, Harlow. Hope you brought oxygen." The docking tube sealed with a hiss. Jack grabbed their bags while Ethan stared through the viewport. "Dad, look." A military cruiser passed nearby, close enough to see the crew pointing and laughing at the ancient station. Jack recognized the ship class. Same type he'd served on before Captain Reeves had left his team to die. "Ignore them," Jack said, pushing their bags through the airlock. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The station's interior was cold and dark. Emergency lights cast red shadows across dusty corridors. Their footsteps echoed on metal floors. "Can we live here?" Ethan asked, his first full sentence in weeks. "We don't have much choice, buddy." Jack found the main control room. Dead screens lined the walls. He tried the power systems, but nothing responded. "This place is dead," he muttered. "Complete waste." Ethan wandered the room, running his fingers along the consoles. What did Great-Grandpa do here? Something in weapons research. He never talked about it. "Is that why you didn't like him?" Jack sighed. "I never knew him. He and my dad fought. Family stuff." Ethan stopped at a wall panel. Unlike the others, this one was clean, as if recently wiped. He pressed his palm against it. The panel slid open. "Dad!" Jack turned as blue light filled the room. A hologram appeared, an old man in a military uniform. His grandfather. "Jack, if you're seeing this, I'm dead, and you've claimed your inheritance. I'm sorry we never met. There wasn't time." Jack stepped closer. The old man's eyes were just like his father's, just like his own. "They're coming back. And only what's hidden in this station can stop them." The hologram flickered. "The military thinks this station is worthless." That's exactly what I wanted them to think. Suddenly, lights began turning on throughout the control room. Screens flickered to life. The floor vibrated as ancient systems awakened. "What's happening?" Ethan asked, backing away from the panel. Warning alarms began to blare. Red emergency lights pulsed. A computerized voice echoed through the station. "Perimeter breach detected. Unknown vessels approaching. Defense systems initializing." Jack grabbed Ethan's arm and pulled him away from the control panel. The station hummed around them, systems waking up after years of silence. "Stay behind me," Jack ordered, military instincts taking over. He moved to the main console, where screens flickered with data. "Computer, identify approaching vessels." "Scanning," the system replied in a mechanical voice. 3 military-class ships. Earth Alliance markings. Jack's jaw tightened. They were waiting for this. They knew the station would activate. "Dad, look at this." Ethan pointed to a door that had slid open at the back of the control room. Beyond it lay a dark corridor. Jack hesitated, torn between investigating and securing their position. The decision was made for him when the communication system crackled. Attention occupants of Station Europa 17. This is Captain Frank Reeves of the Earth Alliance. Power down all systems and prepare to be boarded. Jack's blood ran cold. Reeves, the man who had left Jack's squad to die on Mars. The man who had testified against him at the court-martial. "Dad, who is that?" Ethan asked, sensing his father's tension. "Someone who wants us dead," Jack muttered. He grabbed a portable light from their supplies. "Come on, let's see what Grandpa was hiding." They hurried down the dark corridor. The walls were marked with faded warning signs. Authorized personnel only, an experimental weapons division. The passage ended at a massive circular door. Unlike the rest of the station, this door looked new, its metal surface unmarked by time. "It needs a code," Ethan said, pointing to the keypad. Jack thought for a moment, and entered his grandfather's military ID number. The door remained shut. "Try your birthday," Ethan suggested. Jack typed the numbers. Nothing happened. "Maybe it's my birthday," Ethan said quietly. Jack entered the date. The keypad flashed green, and the massive door began to slide open with a hiss of pressurized air. "How did you know?" Jack asked. Ethan shrugged. "I didn't." The chamber beyond was filled with equipment Jack had never seen before. At its center stood what looked like a weapon, but unlike any human design. Its surface glowed with faint blue lines that pulsed like veins. "This is alien tech," Jack whispered. "Krell technology. The aliens from the war?" Ethan asked. "The ones we defeated?" "The ones we thought we defeated." Jack approached the device cautiously. "Your great-grandfather was reverse engineering their weapons." Station shook as something docked with the main airlock. "They're here," Jack said. He pulled Ethan behind a console and activated his wrist computer. "I'm copying all the research files I can find." The station's speakers crackled again. "Jack Harlow, this is Captain Reeves. We know you're in there. This station is now under military control for national security reasons." Jack's wrist computer beeped as it finished downloading the files. "We need to get out of here." Suddenly, Ethan gasped and clutched his head. His eyes rolled back. "Ethan!" Jack caught his son as he slumped forward. Ethan's eyes snapped open, now glowing with the same blue light as the alien device. "Dad," he said, his voice strange and distant. "I can see them. I can see the station's systems." "What are you talking about?" "I can control it," Ethan whispered. He raised his hand toward the main console across the room. The screens changed, showing the approaching military personnel. Heavy footsteps echoed from the corridor. Reeves and his soldiers were coming. "Hide," Jack hissed, pulling Ethan deeper into the shadows. But Ethan pulled away, his eyes still glowing blue. "No, Dad, we don't need to hide." He placed his hand on a nearby panel. "The station will protect us now." Metal barriers slammed down across the corridor entrance. The sound of Reeves and his men pounding on the other side echoed through the chamber. "Ethan, what did you do?" Jack stared at his son, whose eyes still glowed with that eerie blue light. "The station listened to me," Ethan said simply. He blinked, and the glow faded. He looked normal again, but confused. "Dad, I saw things. Maps, systems, and something else ... Something far away." The station's alarm changed tone. The computer voice announced, "Deep space alert. Multiple objects detected beyond Neptune's orbit. Approach vector matches Krell invasion pattern." Jack's heart stopped. "That's impossible. The Krell were defeated 20 years ago." A screen on the wall activated, showing a tactical display. Dozens of red dots moved toward the solar system. The communication system crackled. "Harlow!" Reeves shouted. "Our sensors are picking up something big." "What the hell did you activate?" "The Krell are back," Jack answered coldly. "Just like my grandfather warned." A moment of silence. Then, We're pulling back to prepare Earth's defenses. This isn't over, Harlow. The docking clamps released with a heavy thud. Through a small viewport, Jack watched Reeves' ships detach and accelerate away. Cowards, Jack muttered. He turned to Ethan. Are you okay? Ethan nodded slowly. Dad, I've been having dreams since we got here. Dreams about voices speaking a language I don't understand. But just now, when I touched that panel, I understood them. Jack felt a chill. He moved to the main console and began decoding his grandfather's files. The old man's face appeared on screen. If you're seeing this, the Krell have returned, the recording said. Everyone thinks I developed weapons here, but my real work was communication. I made contact with one of them, a defector. Jack and Ethan exchanged shocked looks. The Krell aren't a single mind like we thought, the recording continued. Some opposed the war. My contact helped me develop a disruption field that could break their neural network. But I couldn't complete it alone. The station shuddered violently. Warning lights flashed. Proximity alert, the computer announced. Krell scout ship detected. Jack pulled Ethan to a viewport. Outside, a dark shape moved against the stars, angular and predatory. Nothing like human ships. They found us first, Jack whispered. Why here? Why this station? The recording of his grandfather continued. The key to the disruption field isn't technology, Jack. It's genetic. Your wife wasn't who she claimed to be. Jack froze. What? She carried modified genes from first contact. That's why I arranged for you two to meet. He arranged ... double quotes. Jack couldn't process what he was hearing. His marriage had been engineered. Your son is the key, Jack. His DNA can interface with both human and Krell systems. He can activate the weapon. Ethan stared at his hands. Is that why I can talk to the station? A blinding flash lit up space outside. The Krell ship had fired. The blast hit the station's outer ring. Alarms screamed as sections depressurized. The floor tilted beneath them. Hull breach in sectors 7 through 12, the computer reported. Station integrity compromised. Jack grabbed Ethan as another blast rocked the station. A support beam crashed down nearby, missing them by inches. We need to get to the escape pods, Jack shouted over the alarms. Ethan pointed to the alien device. What about that? Shouldn't we take it? It's not the weapon, Jack said, understanding finally dawning. You are. Jack pulled Ethan through the shaking station as another blast hit. Sparks rained from damaged circuits. Air hissed from small cracks in the walls. Dad, what did you mean on the weapon? Ethan shouted over the alarms. Your DNA, Jack yelled back. Something in you can stop the Krell. That's why Grandpa brought us here. They reached a junction where the corridor split. The right path led to the escape pods. The left led deeper into the station. We need to go right, Jack said, pulling Ethan's arm. Ethan resisted. No, I need to go left. The escape pods are this way. There's something else, Ethan insisted. I can feel it. Something important. Another explosion rocked the station. The lights flickered. We don't have time, Jack argued. Trust me, Dad. Ethan's eyes flashed blue again. Please. Jack hesitated, then nodded. They ran left, deeper into the damaged station. Emergency bulkheads began closing behind them, sealing off the breached sections. Ethan led them to a small room Jack hadn't seen before. Inside was a single chair surrounded by equipment. It looked like a pilot's seat, but connected to dozens of cables and monitors. What is this? Jack asked. The interface, Ethan said, approaching the chair. This is what Grandpa built to connect with the Krell defector. Jack checked his wrist computer, scanning the files he'd downloaded. It says here the interface allows direct neural connection to Krell communication networks. The station rocked again. The computer voice announced, critical damage. Station will lose life support in 15 minutes. A new voice came over the communication system. Harlow, this is Reeves. Earth Defense Command is under attack. The Krell bypassed our entire defense grid. They're hitting every major city. Jack's blood ran cold. How bad? We're losing, Reeves admitted. Their technology has advanced. Our weapons barely scratch them. What do you want from us? Your grandfather's weapon. Command says it's our only hope. Jack looked at Ethan, who had already climbed into the interface chair. It's not that simple. Dad, Ethan said quietly. I know what to do. No, Jack said firmly. It's too dangerous. We don't know what it will do to you. If I don't try, everyone dies. Ethan's voice was suddenly older, more certain. Mom would want me to try. The mention of his wife hit Jack like a physical blow. Had she known? Had she been part of this plan all along? Harlow, Reeves shouted through the comm. We're sending a team to extract you. Be ready in 5 minutes. Jack turned back to Ethan, who was connecting cables to the chair's armrests. Son, wait. I've been waiting my whole life, Dad, Ethan said. The dreams, the voices, they were preparing me. Jack moved to stop him, but Ethan had already activated the system. The chair hummed to life. Lights pulsed along the cables. Ethan gasped as the interface connected. His body went rigid and relaxed. His eyes opened, glowing bright blue. I can see them, he whispered. All of them. Their ships. Their minds. What are they planning? Jack asked, kneeling beside the chair. They want Earth. They always wanted Earth. Ethan's voice sounded distant, but they're afraid too. Afraid of what humans might become. The door behind them slid open. Captain Reeves stood there with 4 armed soldiers. Step away from the boy, Harlow, Reeves ordered, raising his weapon. You don't understand what's happening, Jack said, standing protectively in front of Ethan. I understand that boy is military property now, Reeves said coldly. The perfect weapon against the Krell. He's my son. He's humanity's last hope, Reeves countered. And I'm taking him to Earth Defense Headquarters. Jack reached for the pistol at his hip. Reeves fired first. The blast hit Jack in the chest, throwing him against the wall. Dad, Ethan screamed, his concentration broken. The interface sparked and smoked. Jack slumped to the floor, blood spreading across his shirt. Through fading vision, he watched Reeves approach Ethan. Don't fight, kid, Reeves said. Your father was always too stubborn to see the bigger picture. As darkness closed in, Jack heard Ethan's voice, suddenly strong and clear. You're wrong about him. And you're wrong about me. The last thing Jack saw was a flash of brilliant blue light. Jack opened his eyes to the hum of medical equipment. Pain throbbed in his chest where Reeves had shot him. He tried to sit up. Easy, said a voice. A medic pushed him back down. That blast nearly killed you. Jack looked around wildly. My son. Where's Ethan? The boy's piloting us to Earth, the medic explained. Captain Reeves is dead? Dead? How? When the captain shot you, your son did something. Blue light came from his hands. Reeves and 2 soldiers just collapsed. Jack forced himself up despite the pain. I need to see Ethan. The medic helped him to the shuttle's cockpit. Ethan sat in the pilot's chair, his small hands moving across controls meant for adults. His eyes glowed that now familiar blue. Ethan? The boy turned. Relief washed over his face. Dad, you're alive. Jack stumbled forward, embracing his son. What happened after I was shot? I got angry, Ethan said simply. The interface showed me how to use the Krell energy. I stopped Reeves, and got us to this escape shuttle. Through the viewport, Jack saw Earth. The planet was surrounded by Krell ships, their black holes reflecting the sun as they fired on the defense platforms. We're heading straight into the battle, Jack realized. Ethan nodded. We have to reach defense headquarters. The prototype from the station is installed in this shuttle. I can connect it to Earth's defense grid. It's too dangerous, Jack argued. You're just a kid. I'm more than that now, Dad. Ethan's voice was calm. Grandpa knew. Mom knew. I'm what happens when human and Krell DNA mix. The shuttle shook as they entered Earth's atmosphere. Krell fighters screamed past them, attacking the cities below. The sky burned with weapons fire. Incoming transmission, the shuttle computer announced. A military officer appeared on screen. Unidentified shuttle. You are entering a war zone. Divert course immediately. This is Jack Harlow, Jack replied. Former Marine Special Forces. We have the weapon that can stop the Krell. The officer's eyes widened. Harlow, we were told you were dead. Land at these coordinates. Security will meet you. The shuttle touched down at Defense Headquarters. Soldiers surrounded them as they exited. The building shook from nearby impacts. The Krell have broken through our last line, a general said, rushing to meet them. We have minutes, not hours. Jack supported Ethan as they hurried inside. The command center was chaos officers shouting orders, screens showing battles around the world. Where's your defense mainframe? Ethan asked. The general pointed to a sealed door. Through there. But what can a child do? Save your world, Ethan said. Inside the mainframe room, Ethan approached the central console. Jack watched as his son placed his hands on the interface. Dad, when I do this, something big will happen, Ethan warned. Grandpa's notes said it might trigger others like me. Others? Children born after the First War. Children with the same DNA mix. Ethan's eyes began to glow brighter. There are thousands of us. The building rocked from a direct hit. Alarms blared. Do it, Jack said. Ethan connected to the mainframe. Blue energy flowed from his hands into the system. The lights flickered, then stabilized. Across the planet, in homes and schools and shelters, children suddenly stopped. Their eyes glowed blue. They raised their hands toward the sky. On the command center screens, Jack watched as a blue wave spread across Earth's atmosphere. The Krell ships faltered, their weapons going silent. What's happening? The general demanded. A psychic barrier, Jack explained, understanding at last. The children are creating a field that disrupts Krell neural networks. The Krell fleet began to retreat, their ships turning away from Earth. Ethan collapsed. Jack caught him, cradling his son. Did we win? Ethan whispered, his eyes normal again. Yes, Jack said, tears streaming down his face. You saved everyone. The general approached cautiously. What happens now? What are these children? Jack looked up, suddenly understanding his grandfather's true legacy. The next step in human evolution. The generation that will take us to the stars. Outside, the sky cleared as the last Krell ships vanished. And across the world, thousands of children with glowing blue eyes looked up, ready to begin humanity's new chapter.